God in that way because they don't believe in an objective truth, but they believe in objective pain, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And,
That's
and
very
Alex O'Connor, who's in it, I'll invite you sometime if you want.
Oh, I know who
Um,
Alex is. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex O'Connor, he brought up this great argument that I thought was interesting. He said, okay, let's say there's this deer in the middle of the woods, and a tree branch snaps, and I'm being talked to. It's the same server, it's not going to talk to me, right?
I hear a cow.
Yeah, sneaky, sneaky.
I do miss
So
the
it's in
cat
this tree branch. So there's this tree branch. This tree branch cracks and snaps and falls onto this deer and tears this deer open. Why does God allow that suffering? And I'm like, that's interesting. So I asked a couple people. I brainstormed a lot. I'm like, that's interesting because God believes in free will, right? And He also created this system. Right, this system we call nature, we call it science, we call this the universe, right? This system, He can't interfere in the system. So if the system says there's going to be this tree branch just so happens to fall on this deer at this point in time, why on earth would God stop that if it's the system He created? It's the same thing, like, why would He make exceptions, right? Those exceptions are inherently unfair because it's here, for example, Spotify has two different shuffle modes. One shuffle mode is completely random, and the other one's Smart Shuffle. Smart Shuffle allows it's more of an organized, it's different, right? Because Random Shuffle, there's a chance of songs replaying, right? I think that's very similar to kind of how God's system works. If the numbers match, and it just so happens that this tree branch falls on this deer, that's fair, and that's a fair chance, and that's a fair observation.
I would argue,
and that's just how His system works. Go ahead.
I would argue that, you know what? No, I think I'll assert there is no such thing as fair. Never has been, never will be.
Can you expand on that?
Even in games that are considered to be quote unquote fair, the advantage is going to be had by players.
Right here.
It's not exactly fair. Even in games that are going to be considered quote unquote fair, the advantage is still had by the experience of the players. There's still an advantage in not. Yes.
It's like if I jump off a building, that's my choice. I put myself in that situation.
Yeah, there is no real fair. Like it doesn't properly actually exist as an objective concept. There's always going to be a bias
just
of
more
something.
of a matter of free will.
I believe that there is a system of cause and effect that was put into place at the beginning of time. I believe that the Bible tells us that all of the random stuff is being very carefully construed towards good by God. And I have faith that the Father has decided that all of the bad stuff that is happening is the best possible thing for some reason, even though we don't understand it. It is still there for a reason.
God's a big fan of taking terrible things and making them good.
Yes.
I mean, he loves that. I mean,
Yes.
Even you say the first thing He did in literally ever was organize chaos.
I would like to go back to the deer example and offer something as well. That deer does suffer. God never says that He's going to stop you from suffering. That's spiritual suffering, yes.
True.
But at no point does God say, "Follow me, and things are going to be great for you." Actually, it's quite the opposite usually. Yeah. But if the deer dies, okay, that's very sad for the deer. But what about the tree that needed the nutrients from that deer? What about the grass that needs a nutrient for those from that deer? What about the worms? What about the vulture that needs to feed its family and needs the deer's body to feed its family? What about the rest of the world? Sometimes, and here's the other thing, right? And this is the thing that most people have a hard time swallowing. It is not about us individually. We have to get outside of the idea that it good for me, therefore good. It bad for me, therefore bad. Sometimes, a lot of the time, your suffering is a good thing. It builds character. I suffer through having to read a bunch of books so that I can learn different languages. So I can learn Coney Greek and ancient Hebrew and learn the 3 different types of Hebrew. That sucks. I hate that. But suffering is for a reason. But the other thing is this: sometimes suffering is not about you. Sometimes suffering's about someone else, something else that needs you. So yes, if it's why would God allow suffering? It's like, well, that suffering spills blood, it spills a body, it spills stuff that other things can eat, other things need to live.
I like that.
Yeah, bad things happen, and
I like that. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I like what you said there, Cass, when you pointed out that, okay, yeah, when the deer, I'm sorry, who was talking there? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Was somebody talking?
No, I was just saying that it was very interesting.
It's interesting with the deer analogy is that, yeah, it sucks for the deer, but think about the bloodshed. It's going to be absorbed into the soil for the plant life and the nutrients derived for the tree in the cycle of life. It's amazing how many times they fail to consider the overall bigger picture to feed the system, the ecology.
what's the fox gonna eat?
How do you feel about night shirt?
You know? Like, yeah.
And yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. I like it. And I think that proves more that everything has a plan. We all have a plan.
Yeah, there was a book I was going to point out. It was the other night there, Cass. I didn't get a chance to tell you about it.
The book?
There's a book by Martin Plummer, and I just stumbled across it. It's called Beyond Coincidence, and what it is a compendium of all of the confirmed stories of incidents throughout history involving presidents, involving common folk, that are beyond statistical chance. And so, like, they give an example, like, there's a story that was confirmed where a little girl in Michigan had a balloon, and she tied a note on the end that said, whoever finds this balloon, send a note with the same message and a balloon, back to me. He's a little girl, right? And so it turns out that at the same time they confirmed that this little girl in Michigan let this balloon go, there was another girl at some other place in the United States that had done the same thing, and guess where both balloons landed? In the exact same yards that were of the other little girl. And so they use all these confirmed stories, like with presidents and with just common occurrences, that show that, yeah, what you think is statistical chance is not. That this is like a synchronicity written into nature. And I think it's a very fascinating book, and I recommend it.
You can roll the dice as many times as you want. God will determine the outcomes.